Hello, Sacred Center community, Aquidneck Island and beyond. It's Rev Shelley Dungan. I'm very happy to share a 1-hour gentle yoga practice for you. It'll be divided into 4 sections, so you could do the whole thing if you've got time, or you could do just a section or 2. So the things that you'll need is you'll need your yoga mat, and if you don't have one, I'm sure you can make do. A quiet space if possible. If you have yoga blocks, bring those out. And if you don't, you can use thick books, or you can use a large can of soup or vegetables, and then a strap of some sort. It could be a belt, a scarf, anything that's long enough for you to loop over your feet a little later in the practice. So welcome. I'm glad you're here. So let's settle in together. We'll start seated. I want you to find your comfortable place on the earth. And this is my little poem called The Invitation. Pull out your meditation cushion and your prayer shawl and dust them off. Take your simple seat upon the earth like the little Buddha that you are. Gaze out the windows of your home with eyes of love and a heart of compassion. Be truly present for those who live with you or around you, the beings who are in your inner circle. Touch, listen, feel, taste, smell, sense what is going on in the present moment. You have done what you can to be ready and be informed, and you can let that be enough for now and simply show up for life as it unfolds one moment to the next. This is your sacred pause. Let your body release the tension that fear has caused. Can you allow your mind to quiet and your heart to whisper the eternal truth that it knows, that at the center of your being, all is well. We'll open the space with 3 rounds of Om. You're welcome to sing with me or just receive the vibration. Slide your eyes closed. Let your breath start to deepen. Please take your left hand and place it over your heart. Just feel the presence of yourself on your mat at this time. Why are you here? What do you need? It is not selfish to do yoga for you. It'll empower you, it'll center you, it'll ground you, it will release love, and then you can share that. Right hand on top of the left, and this hand represents the other. Yoga is for the self and is also for the other. So for the greater good, let's dedicate our practice to that. And my intention, hope, and prayer for this practice is that it will open the door for you into your inner sanctuary, that it may be an oasis for you, that this time together would be a refuge, a raft, a bridge, a lamp in the darkness, a resting place for the parts of you that are weary, that every breath you take would bring you into the awareness of your innate wholeness. So may it be. I'd like you to come down onto your back. That's how we're going to start. And I'll be putting my head toward you so that you can see. Actually, I'm going to be on my side so you can see. So you're going to drop down onto your back. And your blocks and your equipment close by, a blanket if you want it. And then please just bend your knees, rest your palms right on your low belly. Feel some length from the back of your head, down your spine, across the width of your shoulders, down the back of the rib cage, into the low back. Feel the way your hips are resting on the ground. So just smooth out your breath. Again, notice what's present for you. What is coming to you through your senses? Hold that all in gentle awareness. You can bring your arms out into a T. Place your palms down, really stretch out. So you're starting to feel some distance from the chest to the fingertips. And tip your knees to the right and to the left. So my preference is to teach simple yoga that almost anybody can do, little or no experience. I'll use simple language and really clear directions for you. So at times you might not even have to look at the screen. You can just listen to my voice. And your feet are wide. As the knees drop from side to side, you feel the way that you're rolling across the soles of your feet. You might be starting to feel a stretch on the outer hip. Come into awareness of the low belly, up into the spine. Stop with your knees to the right. Turn your head to the left. Just pause right there. Breathe in, breathe out. Soft belly, inhale. A stronger belly on the exhale. Tip your knees across the center and drop them both to the left. You can go as far as they want or will. Turn your head to the right. Slow breaths. Good. And then come on back to the center. Please hug your knees in towards your chest. Your left hand to your left knee and your right hand to your right knee. And start to rock side to side. And some of you will stay here holding. Some of you will loop your arms around the knees. Some of you might interlace your fingers like that. Do you feel that gentle pressing of your low back? Continual settling into breath. Takes a bit of time to switch from doing something else to doing yoga. That's okay. Back to the center. Interlace your fingers on the front side of your right knee and pull your right thigh in towards your right rib cage. Send your left heel up. You're going to lengthen your left leg to any degree. And just remember, this needs to fit your body, so you just make it work for you. What you're doing does not have to look like what I'm doing. Start, lower your left leg down and then lift it back up a couple of times. Perfectly fine to have a super bent left knee, or you can have your leg straighter. Feel the weight of the leg as you lift it up and what you're asking of your core to get engaged. You can inhale as you lower, exhale as you lift back up, press your low belly to the ground. Next time your left leg lowers, let it come all the way down. If you have a tender low back, bend the knee and just rest your foot like that. If your low back doesn't bother you and you're able, lengthen out your left leg and pull your right knee in a little bit more. Smooth your shoulders down so you feel width across your chest. Maybe some of you want to take your elbows to the side and just lift your head and shoulders off the ground a little bit, and you'll feel some strengthening happening through your core. Those who want more can lift the left heel off the ground. And possibility of taking the hand behind the head and flexing the ankles. That's holding for a couple of breaths. Good. Hand back to the knee. Lower your head and shoulders. Good. Release your right knee. Bring both of your legs parallel to each other. Reach your arms overhead. Get a little longer. Kind of like scooching your heels, forward and your fingertips further back. Keep on reaching. Breathe in and then give everything a squeeze. Breathe out and soften completely. Just a little pause here. Feel the body. Notice the difference between the right leg and the left leg. Now remember, when I invite you to notice, you don't need to conjure up a descriptive word. It's just kind of a little scan of the body. And we certainly are not trying to assess good or bad, like it, don't like it. Kind of staying away from that. And then walk your heels right back in. Pull your knees back in towards your chest, both of them together. Simply say here. You can lift your head up. And if by this time you've realized that you need a little padding under your head, you can put a thin blanket or a towel if that feels better for you. Interlace your fingers, put them on the front of the left knee, snug it in towards your left chest and your left ribs. Extend your right leg up. Feel the length of it to any degree. We'll lower. Remember, take good care of your back. You can bend the right knee if you need to. Just lifting and lowering. I like to exhale when I lift so I can pull the navel toward the spine. And I like to inhale when I'm lowering the right leg. That's how out breath would be here. In breath would be here. Keep rooted and grounded through the back of your head, all the way down the back of your body. Good. And then we're going to lower the right leg, and you're going to put it either straight on the ground, or if you need to, bend your right knee and just rest your foot right like that. Otherwise, the right leg is straight and pressing to the ground. Left knee comes in. Just breathing, lengthening, good firm hold. Feel like your arms are getting a little stronger. And some of you might want to take those elbows out a bit. Lift your head and shoulders off the ground. It doesn't take much to really feel your core working. Some of you might want to lift the right heel off a bit. You could flex the ankles if you want to feel like your heels are pushing away. And then possibility of taking the hands behind the head. Couple of breaths here. Terrific. Right leg goes down, left leg matches the right. Stretch really, really long. Come into a side bend. Please take your right hand and grab your left wrist. Walk both your heels to the front right corner of your mat and put them down. And then you're going to side bend. And you're going to be taking your right hand, pulling your left arm a little longer. Lean to the right, but still keep your head, shoulders, hips, legs on the ground as best you can. Some of you want to cross the right ankle over the left, and then pay attention to the distance from your left heel all the way up to your left hand. It might be sweet to drop your head to the right. Breathe into the length and the arc on the left side of your body. In a relaxed, noticing way, do you feel any stretch through the left rib cage? And that opportunity to shorten the right side waist. And then we're going to release. And we're going to step it through. Same thing, other side. Both heels to the front left corner. Left hand grabs the right wrist. Start to arch your body in a shape like a banana. Head is down, shoulders are down to the best of your ability. That right arm is long. Maybe you feel your right bicep somewhere around your right ear. Some of you might cross the left ankle over the right ankle. And then notice that distance. Right heel up through the outer portion of the right hip, through the right ribs, and maybe your head just rocks over to the left. Breathe in, breathe out. Beautiful. Let's release that. And then we'll bring the knees back in. Give them a good squeeze. Tuck your chin in a little bit so you feel like the sides of your neck are long. And rock again. Relax, noticing of anything that feels different in your experience, whether it's in your body, You know, your state of mind, your heart. And then just a few more movements to conclude the warm-up. Please put your feet down on the mat and push into your feet. Lift your hips up to any degree. Bring your arms overhead. Just going to come in and out of bridge and a knee hug. So right here, some of you will lift your head up because you're just going to want to feel like your cheekbones are closer to your kneecaps. Feet go back down, push in, lift up. Lift up with your rib cage and your chest. Lower back down. That's the flow. You can breathe out here. Breathe in here. The thing I love about gentle yoga is that you can interact with it in a very slow, minimal effort kind of way. Or you can come into these movements and these poses with a fair amount of vigor. So you just adjust for what you want, what you need, even what time of day it is. If it's in the morning and you feel more energetic, put a little more into it. And if it's evening, you want to respect your biorhythms and maybe just stay pretty chill. Good. So we're going to either roll to the side to come up to a seat, or you can rock up. I'd like you to be seated in the middle of your mat. Rest your palms on your knees. 5 breath pause. Little mini meditation. Let's transition out of a seated pose and onto all fours to tabletop. Take a moment here and notice if your knees are a little sensitive, take one of your blankets or a towel and smooth it across the floor or across your yoga mat, and then put your knees on that and see if that's helpful. And then spread your hands really wide, really wide. Press them into the ground like you are just kissing the earth that we love. Lengthen through your arms. And just for now, drop your head. Take a peek back at your knees. So at this point, we really don't want them wide and we don't want them right together. We want the knees about as wide as the hips are and the feet can be relaxed. And then take your gaze forward. And as you lift your hips up, your belly sinks, your ribs drop also. But as you press into the hands, the chest lifts. So the back of your spine has a little compression. This is the cow. And then the opposite, the rounding and the tucking, is the cat. Tailbone drops, the chin pulls in, the back of the body opens. And we make that as smooth as we can. You can breathe in as the hips and chest lift. Breathe out as you round and tuck. And then just make that into a moving meditation. Filling up, stretching the breath more and more so your inhalations and exhalations get deeper. You also start to balance and clear your energy when you do that. So beneficial to do deep, deep breathing. Also triggers the relaxation response, which lowers all your stress hormones. So cat and cow. Coming right back to center, pause. If your wrists get cranky, just come down onto your elbows. And you can do a lot of these same things from being on your elbows. I'd like you to lean now into your left knee, lift your right knee out to the side, and circle the knee. Kind of sensitive to what feels good, helpful, beneficial. So it could be little circles or bigger ones. Feel all that movement through your low back and your spine. And then next time your right knee's out to the side, just kind of hold it there for a sec. And then press it back as far as you can. Just push into your hands again. Press back through your right heel. Drop your right outer hip so it's level with your left hip. You can stay here, managing this balance, fairly challenging, or you can shift your weight into your right hand and stretch your left fingers forward. I'm looking down so I can keep my neck long, and this is a spinal balance. Thinking about the navel as the center point, reaching out through the left fingertips, back through the right heel, breathing. Good, well done. And then we're going to drop the right knee right onto the mat. Sit back either onto your heels or just come on up onto your knees and give your wrists a little shake. Because if you're new to yoga, or even if you've been doing it a long time, like I have, the wrists get cranky. So a little shake sometimes helps. And then back down. Tabletop. Reset. This time we're going to lean into the right knee, lift the left knee out to the side, circles, any direction. In yoga, you just get to follow your instinct. Do what feels right in the moment. There aren't many rules. Maybe the only rule is keep breathing. And the deeper, the better. Pause with that left knee out to the side. Then press back. Push, push, push through your left heel. As the left leg is straight, again, press into your fingertips and your palms. And then drop your left outer hip a tad so you feel like there's a balance between right hip and left hip. Holding, breathing. Stay there. Or see if you can balance into the left hand. Stretch your right fingertips forward. Gaze down. Keep on stretching. Right from your navel out to your right fingertips. Your navel to your left heel. Breathe. You can exhale through an open mouth once in a while if that's helpful for you. Hand down. Knee down again. Either sit back on your heels because your body does that to give a little shake to your wrists, or if that's not such a great idea, just be right here. All right, let's come on forward now onto the belly and onto your elbows. So you be in Sphinx pose, little belly down, back bend. So anchor your pelvis. You can widen out your feet if you want to be a little more comfortable in your low back. And then let the pelvis really sink to the earth. Let your belly sink a little bit. Press into your elbows, forearms, and palms. And as you pull your elbows towards your hips, you might feel like you can drag your ribs forward just a little more. Maybe widen across the chest. And then you can let your chin drop and tilt your head gently to the left. Relax your jaw, feel a sweet little stretch through your right side of your neck, and then the other side. Good. Back to the center. Slide your hands down. So now your thumbs are outside your chest. Your pinkies might be right near the edge of the mat. And then use some of your upper body strength. Push into your palms. Come on back with your hips. Pause. Curl your toes under. Lift your hips up. Look in the direction of your feet. Then adjust your hands and feet however you'd like so you can spend a few breaths in downward facing dog. You can come up and down on your heels or pedal out your heels, bending one knee at a time. Hold it for a few moments. I'm pressing into my hands like I'm trying to push the floor away. Feeling length from the hands all the way up to the hips. Length down through the legs. You don't need to straighten your legs. And don't think that your heels should touch the ground because there really is not
any shoulds in yoga. And then both the knees can come down. And then take your knees wide, as wide as they'll go. And then you look back at your feet, your big toes point in. So we're getting ready for a wide-kneed child's pose. And then press your hips towards your heels. And just wiggle them on back until they're just as far as they're going to go. Then lean into your right hand. Take your left palm, thread it under the armpit, reach it across, and drop the shoulder down. So this is a wide-kneed child's pose with a shoulder opener. Side of the head is softly on the ground. If this does not feel good or safe for your shoulder, either skip it, don't do it, or you can take a block over and put the side of your head on the block. And then you've got a little more space for your shoulder. And then some of you are going to want to stretch your left fingertips forward quite far because you just like that feeling of stretching. There could be a few in the class. I'm going to take the hand up and back behind you. You want to feel a stretch through the groin, through the low back, through the shoulder that's facing down. Breathe into a soft belly and then breathe out. Squeeze the belly in a little bit. Good. And then slide. Extended hand in, push into the hand. And as you bring your body back up, you could take the threaded hand, twist, lift, get a chance for your chest to open, a little more strength through the arms. Now we're going to do the other side. So let's anchor down with the opposite palm, ready to thread. Right behind the wrist, reach across. Remember, if you need that block for the side of your head, grab it, tuck it right in. And then drop your head. Sink your hips towards your heels. Maybe give the hips a little wiggle. Option to slide the hand forward so you get a long side bend. Or that other option I mentioned about taking the hand up and around. Again, feel the hips descending, inner thighs stretching, soft, full belly inhale, long, long exhale. Really empty out. And then slide your hand in, press into the palm, withdraw the threaded hand. If it feels good, keep on lifting, 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 so you get a good stretch across your chest. Beautiful. And then right back to the center. I would like us to find a block and we're going to do gate pose. So you're going to step forward with your right foot and going to have a block. You're going to take it with your left hand. You're going to turn toward the long edge of your mat and we're going to have that block set off over to the side. So you can face me or face the side of your mat, however it's working out for you. And then this is the position of the body. We've got the hips over the lower knee. If you're mirroring me, you'll have the left leg long with the toes turning toward the same direction your chest is facing. And then you just want to ground and feel the sense of the earth beneath you. And from that sense, lift up without shrugging the shoulders. So just right on up. Put your left hand on your outer left knee and reach your right fingertips way up. And then just keep on reaching, but stay broad across the chest. Reach, reach, reach until the right fingertips won't go anymore. And then start to bend to the side. And keep looking to the space out in front of you. You want the gaze to stay soft. Don't want to clench your teeth. There be just a soft easiness to your eyes and your jaw. And then just come on over to a stretch that feels good. You can let your left ear come towards your left shoulder if that's what it naturally does. This is a gate pose. And use some core strength. Come back up, pause. Look over to your right. Remember that block that we put over there? Some of you might not even need a block, but I like it. And then come on over, place your right palm on the block and start to balance so that you can stretch your left toes away from you. Bring your left hand straight up. And first of all, feel that there's a strong T shape that you're making with your upper body. There's also a long line from the top of your head to your left toes. And then just to be nice to our shoulders, we're going to circle that top arm a few times. And of course, we're still breathing slow and deep, really filling up and emptying out. And then we're going to just pause and side bend here. This time your right ear can fall towards your right shoulder. Some of you will be pretty happy with this stretch. Some of you that want more challenge, lift your left leg up. A little more challenge than that. Bend your left knee, reach your left hand back. And if you're lucky enough to find the foot, grab it. And then just push that left knee back, open through the pelvis, the ribs, the chest. Some of us might lift the chin a little bit. Balancing and breathing and stretching. And then we will let go. And we're going to try to find our way right back up to where we were. And this time, let's lift the hands overhead. And feel that stretch from your right knee up through the right half of your body, all the way through your right fingertips. Good. And then look down. Bring your hands down. Step your palms out in front of you and just take some kind of a little bow forward here, whatever feels good for you. And then walk your hands back in. I'm going to put left knee on the ground. And you might be guessing, we're going to the other side. So now the right leg comes out, if you're mirroring me. And then just bring yourself right on up. Long line, left knee straight on up. Left fingertips. Got my right toes turned the same direction as my chest is. And there's just a nice, soft, kind hand resting on the outer thigh. And we're going to just keep on lifting without shrugging the shoulders. Keep your chest wide. Continue reaching up. Side bend over. Feel your right hand sliding down the outside of your leg. Beautiful opening for the left side body, all the way up to the fingertips. Strong core, bring yourself back up. Pause, feel the length. And then heading over to the left palm comes onto the block, right toes extend, right hand comes overhead. And we'll circle the right arm. A few big circles. Keep feeling how you're balancing on that left knee and your left hand. Good. And then right back up with the right hand. Stretch it on over. Nice side bend here. Strong through the left arm. And you can stay, or if you want more, lift your right leg up. Possibility of bending the right knee, reaching back with the right hand and finding the foot. If you find it, push back with the right knee, press forward with the pelvis, ribs, and chest. Maybe lift the chin a little bit. Take a few breaths here, wherever you are. Great. Let go of the foot if you took it. Let's try to come all the way back up. Little pause, right back here. And then look down. Put your hands on the mat. Keep that right leg long. Step your hands forward. To any degree, bow toward the ground. Deep breathing. Walk your hands back in. Let's bring the right knee onto the mat. Some of you can sit right back onto your heels, just like that. Some of you will benefit from using a block, tucking that between your ankles and making that a little seat. Others of you that doesn't work for you, just come right up onto your knees. We're all going to bring the hands into prayer or into Anjali Mudra. Rest the thumbs at the heart. Eyes open or closed, whichever suits you. 5-breath pause. Just anchor yourself in the present moment awareness. Feel the form of your body. sensation, shape, where your legs are, arms are. Feel your breath flowing in and out through your nostrils and your body receiving the breath and then giving it back. Let's get ready to come down onto our backs, and you can take your strap with you. Have that close by. And when you first lay down, remember you can tuck a little thin padding under your head if that's what you want, what you need. Take your feet wide and tip your knees in toward each other and see how that widens your low back. And just take a couple breaths here. Feel the transition, that your relationship with gravity has changed and you're coming back close to the ground again. Find your breath slow and deep. When you inhale, let your belly fill up, your ribs expand, even your chest fills, and then long, slow breaths out. And just reestablish that breath pattern. Belly, ribs, chest filling, whole body descending as you breathe out. Good. And next we're going to stretch the hamstrings and the hips, and I hope it feels good. So I'd like you to lift up your right foot and put your strap right over the ball of your right foot. Some of you will have your right leg bent a lot. We'll all have the left leg bent for now. Reach up, grab the strap, and I like to take a loop just like that because it gives me a sturdier hold. And so lots of room for your preference in yoga. I'm just showing you the way that I do it, but you do it the way you want. And then initially, I'm going to take my elbows a little bit to the side and just start to pulse the toes toward the back of the space and start to notice what's going on. There's some days, depending on your level of activity. In previous days, the hamstrings could be really tight, or sometimes it's surprising that they're not as tight as I imagine. And then just find a place to hold. Do let your hips rest quite firmly on the ground. Same thing with your shoulders, the back of your head. And so some of you will just stay right here, breathing, holding, not pulling. Right? We work in cooperation with the body in gentle yoga. Option to straighten your left leg, provided you can keep your right foot in about the same place. And then if you've got the left leg straight, press your left thigh bone to the ground even more. Maybe push a tiny bit up through your right heel. Deep breaths. I know some of my students like to slip in core work wherever possible. So if you're one of those people, you could do that now by lifting your left heel just an inch off the mat, elbows a little wider. Lift your head and shoulders. Maybe take a peek towards your left big toe or up toward the ceiling. Feel the strength of your core right there. And then lay your body back down. Plant your left leg back to the ground. Feel the touch of your left heel downward. And then from here, take both the straps into your right hand and take your left arm out to the side and anchor it, like really push it down. I'm going to take the right heel to the right, and we're going to go slow enough that we can keep the left side of our body grounded and anchored. So just keep on coming out, remembering your yoga is going to look different than mine and different from anybody else's. So just come to a good, strong stretch here. And there's a lot of widening going on. We're widening across the chest. We're widening from that left heel that's anchored out to the right heel. Lengthening, stretching through the inseam of both legs. Deep breaths, soft jaw, soft eyes. Open, quiet mind. And then lift the foot back up. Bend your left knee, put your left foot on the ground. For now, just switch the straps into your left hand. Take your right arm out to the side. And to any degree possible, take your right leg across the center of your body. And for some of us, just a little bit is plenty. And you can feel a big stretch on the outside of your right leg. So that might be where some of you want to stay. There'll be others who will lengthen the left leg out and decide that for today, it's possible to bring that right foot further across. Being really careful with your low back. Softly bend your right knee and then come back to the center. Bend your left leg again, take the strap off. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. And pause. Reset down to the ground. Some of you in tighter bodies are going to stay right here, and you can take your left hand, hold your right ankle. If you can touch it, if not, it's okay. Right hand can push the right knee away, flex your right ankle, and little rocking. You can feel the right hip respond. Some of you are going to come further in with the left thigh bone. And you've got a couple options here. You could interlace your hands behind the left thigh, just like that. Or you can take your left hand and grab the sole of your right foot, then your right hand. And just kind of hold that outer knee. It's all about stretching the right hip at this time. Rock side to side. Some of you taking the class might want to come into reclining pigeon. Left leg is long back to the ground, and then you're just rocking that right shin back and forth, holding on to it any way that makes sense for you. And then releasing. Stretch your body really long, just like we did earlier in the practice. As long as you can, walk your heels away, stretch your hands away, and as you stretch, squeeze everything. Take a big breath in. Breathe out, soften completely. Let all the bones of your body drape toward the ground. Easy breaths. Just notice and feel. Feel the effects of that little sequence on the right side. And then we'll do the left side. Legs will bend. Find that strap again. This time it's going on the left foot. So I've got the right leg bent, my right foot is down. Put that strap on the ball of your left foot, reach up. If it makes sense for you to take a loop like I just did, go ahead. You also might notice one leg feels quite different from the other. Shoulders are settled, you're grounded to the earth. You just feel her holding you. And then play around here, pressing out through the left heel. You don't have to straighten your left leg at all. It could really be bent if that's in your best interest. Guide your left toes back a little bit. Play into it without force. So you can stay there, breathing, stretching, or you can straighten your right leg if that's the case. Right thigh presses down. There's really some intention with that. And the left heel reaches up. The neck stays long. Deep breaths. If you want to strengthen your core, lift powerfully that right heel off the ground. Your right leg is long and extended. And then you can lift from your deep core, that space behind your navel. Lift up. And you can look towards your right big toe, or you can look at the foot above you. Slowly lower back down. Nice. And if you're keeping the right leg bent, remember that's fine. But we're all going to take the strap into the left hand. Right arm out to the side, anchors down, really presses down to help hold you and hold the right side of your body to the ground as you take the left heel over. Opening up and going slow. So you just kind of feel every little inch of the way, coming to whatever point your body allows you to. Feel that you're pulling down with both of your shoulders so your chest is wide. Long reach from the right heel that's grounded all the way out through the left heel. Keep on stretching, inseam of both legs. Good job. You can bend your right leg, lift your left foot back up overhead, pause, switch the straps, both to the right hand, left arm out to the side, anchors you, holds you, and then with care, notice what feels beneficial for you, taking your left leg just slightly across center line, could be more than enough. Some of you will straighten the right leg and bring the left leg further over. We're all built differently, so just stay attuned to what works for you. Softly bend your left knee and then come back up. That will be the gentlest way to do that. Strap can come off and over to the side. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. And just for this moment, take your left hand on your left thigh, press it away, flex your left ankle, rock a little side to side, bring your attention, your awareness down into your left hip. And if that's enough of a stretch, you stay with that, where you bring the right thigh in. Some of you will reach the hands behind the right thigh bone, interlacing the fingers. Some of you will take the right hand, grab the right foot, and you might prefer to be here. Might be more accessible. We're breathing. We're feeling that left hip stretch. And you might stay here, or you might come into pigeon on your back, reclining pigeon, lengthening out the right leg, rocking left shin, holding on to the left shin any way that makes sense for you. Beautiful. Release your left foot. Line your legs right up next to each other. Another one of those big long body stretches. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, lower. 5 breath pause. Close your eyes. Sense and feel what's happening in your body. What sensory awareness do you have? Sound, smell, touch. Few moments right there. And from this place of being on our backs, you can bend your legs, reach for your block, push into your feet, lift your hips up, place the block underneath your hips. And if 2 blocks side by side is better for you, if your frame of your body is a little wider, that could be a great thing to do. And then bring your knees in, float your feet up. We're going to come into a supported shoulder stand. And you can have your arms down by your sides. Some people like to hold their arms up so that what is happening through the legs in terms of drainage can also happen through the arms. So you could do that. Or rest your hands anywhere you like. Feel the heaviness of your head on the ground, your shoulders, length of your spine. And feel that slight tip that you've got with the hips higher than the heart. And start to tune into subtle sensation. Do you feel anything happening in your feet or your ankles? Or in your legs? Turn back into awareness of your breath. Feel the smooth way that it comes and goes. If you want to stretch your low back, and your body does this, you can guide your toes further back behind your head. You can bend your knees a bit. Some of you might even want to take your hands on the back side of your legs. Slide them up. A little lengthening for the low back. Only doing what feels good and right. And then We'll all bend the knees and put the feet right back down on the ground. Take out that block or two, and then when you draw the knees in, take one of the blocks, put it between your knees. We're going to come into a spinal twist. So I'd like you to drop your legs to the left. Got that second block? That could be a little landing spot for your left outer shin, if you need it, if you want it. And the idea is that the right hip is stacking on top of the left hip. We've got a beautiful spiral shape happening with our spine. You feel some length from the back of the body to the earth. Your arms can be wide. Adjust your legs any way that you need to so you can feel this progressive softening into the twist. You might want to take your left hand onto the top outer side of your right hip to slide the hand down until your left hand just has a nice hold on the outer right knee, and that might help the twist go a little deeper. In terms of what you do with your head, you can stay neutral, just looking up. If your neck is very tender, turning to the left might be the gentlest thing to do. Some of you with no neck trouble can turn to the right. Soften your left hip right down into the ground. Just let it melt a bit. Feel the long twist. All right, switch to the other side. Bring your knees back up over. If you're doing that double block treatment, switch one block over to the other side. We'll let the legs drop to the right. Stretch your chest open wide. Settle your left shoulder down. If it's helpful, right hand, top outer portion of the left hip and sliding down the left thigh until the left knee is held with the hand. Turn your head however it feels best for you. Smooth and deepen your breath. Right down deep into the belly, up toward the ribs, toward the chest. And on the exhalation, soften into the twist a little more. Allow your right outer hip to melt. Good. And now that we have reset the spine, we are ready to relax. So you can take those two blocks and just be done with them. Or there's just some things that you can do with your props at this time to get yourself set up and ready. Some people like to put the blocks positioned so that they create a little bend for the knees when you lay back down. And if you've got a couple of blankets, one could go for your head, the other one could cover you up. So I'm going to give you a moment to get yourself comfortable. And I hope that you won't skip this part. It's really, truly important. And once you are stretched out, I'm going to guide you. I'm going to describe to you the relaxation process, and then I'll close with a little reading. So, stretch out. Let your legs be a little wider than your hips and your arms by your side. If it feels comfortable, turn your palms up toward the sky. You might tuck your chin a little so your neck gets longer, and bring your awareness to your feet. Notice your toes, your heels, soften your feet. And draw your awareness to your ankles and see if you can feel any sensation there. Relaxing bit by bit, guiding your awareness up toward your calves. You might imagine that your calf muscles are like two pools of water just seeping down into the earth. Feel the way your shin bones rest back into your calves. And then glide your awareness over the curve of the knees. Just noticing, sending loving kindness to each part of the body as we move through. And then feel the weight of your thigh bones descending toward the earth
as you continue to let go, release, and soften. Maybe sensing the way that the thigh muscles rest upon the thigh bones. And then drawing your attention continually through the body into the buttocks and releasing both of the buttocks so they become like pillows for your hips. Feel the weight of your pelvis. Notice your breath just rising and falling. You're not trying to breathe, you're just naturally being breathed. Just progressive softness to the experience. Notice any sense of relaxation of your front ribs dropping down towards your back ribs, kind of a general widening of your torso. And in that widening, a sense of spaciousness. Bring your awareness up to your shoulders. Feel your shoulder blades as they widen and settle on the earth and the corresponding broadening across the front of your chest. Notice any width across your collarbones. Allow your heart to feel soft and full. Your throat to be soft and open. Relax the root of your tongue and feel the way the back of your neck falls just gently towards the ground. Notice the presence of your arms. Feel their weight and any place that the air touches exposed skin on your arms or your hands. And as you hold some awareness in your hands, just notice if there's any sensation there. Just feeling the presence of your hands. Now draw your attention up to your face and allow all the skin of your face to relax. Just fall free. No worry. True peacefulness. Skin on the face just smoothing out from the inside. Allow your eyes to sink deeply into their sockets and notice the gentle way that your eyelids cover your eyes. There's even a softening through your sense of hearing. Allowing your scalp to relax, your head to rest softly but deeply onto the support underneath you. Maybe sensing the way that your hair is hanging from your skull. And imagine your skull widening enough to allow your brain to relax. Resting now in gentle awareness of the body, your body, the space around you, the floor, the earth, the sky. You're just the relaxed observer. Have the intention to allow yourself to be in a state of peace and openness, calmness, and a sense of being home in your body. And you're resting at the center of your being. All is well. And as you rest softly, I'm going to read to you from Mark Nepo's Book of Awakening. It's called The Practice of Being Real. As the sun cannot withhold its light, we cannot withhold what feels real. As the earth keeps going by turning itself toward the light day after day, we have no choice, despite all forms of etiquette and training, but to keep turning toward what we feel is real.
Otherwise, we become cold little planets spinning in the dark. Very often, when I am confused or depressed for a long period of time, it is because I have stopped turning toward the light of what feels real. At times like this, I have no break from the darkness, and I just do feel like I'm very small. And even a simple step could feel huge and difficult because I've been spinning in on myself. I have to practice being real by saying what I feel, not just once, but continually. I have struggled my whole life with this, and like most of us, I learned to survive by withholding what feels real. When events happen, when someone says or does something that hurts me, I have learned to absorb the hit and pretend that nothing has changed and that everything is the same. But when I do this, my energy is used up in maintaining the pretense that nothing has happened, and I begin to spin once again coldly in the dark. It is so simple and yet so brave to say that we are hurt when we are hurt, that we are sad when we are sad, and that we are scared when we are scared. In very direct and daily ways, this energy of realness changes situations because the immediate expression of our truth releases light and warmth that influences the life that we are part of. That is the way that our spirit shines. So as you rest, just allow the stream of feelings to move through you. They'll arise, they'll pass, they'll fade, and another feeling might come through, and the same thing goes for your thoughts. And in the course of this day, just consider giving voice to your particular feelings as they arise. And then just try to be mindful of what it takes to stay clear so that your light can shine. So if you wish to rest longer, please do. Just push the pause on this video and really sink into a deep healing space. And I will leave you to do that on your own. And I part with these words. I send you each wishes for peace, health, and happiness now and always. Namaste.